Scarlett Johansson is known as one of Hollywood's most captivating actresses, with a fortune of $165 million, turning heads on the red carpet. But behind her million-dollar mansions and the glow of Tinseltown, she's a woman who's faced 2 broken marriages and a childhood far from perfect. How did a little girl from a cramped Manhattan apartment build this lavish life? How did the scars of a fractured family shape her? And what secret keeps Scarlett shining, even with a heart once cracked despite her dazzling success? She hasn't escaped the shadows fame brings. Join us to uncover the story of Scarlett's wealth and her quiet pain. Stick around to learn more. Scarlett Johansson is now an actress who can earn tens of millions for a single role. But before she reached today's stardom, her childhood was marked by feeling less valued than her brother. That moment planted a fear of being overlooked and a vow that one day every eye would turn her way. Before becoming one of Hollywood's most alluring and powerful icons, Scarlett Ingrid Johansson, born November 22, 1984, was just a blonde-haired girl growing up in the crowded heart of Manhattan, the 4th of 6 siblings. Scarlett lived in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment where children's laughter was often drowned out by adult arguments and the scratchy radio reporting widespread unemployment across New York in the early 1990s. Her father, Karsten Johansson, was a Danish-born architect. Her mother, Melanie Sloan, was a Jewish woman whose family had survived the Holocaust, a legacy that seeped into Scarlett's blood, fueling her drive to endure. But despite her strong heritage, Scarlett grew up in scarcity at times. Her family relied on welfare. She had no new toys, no room of her own, but she had a bathroom mirror. That was Scarlett's first stage, where she'd sing and mimic Judy Garland after the house went quiet. At 7, she went to her first casting call, but her brother got the part, and she was forgotten. That sting of rejection stayed with her forever. By 13, her parents divorced. The small apartment grew colder. Not just from the loss of family warmth, but from a spiritual emptiness. Scarlett found solace with her grandmother Dorothy, the only one who listened when the world seemed to stop caring. The girl who once stood in the shadows of that apartment stepped into the spotlight. But her journey began with pain. Could a rejected child like Scarlett claim the stardom the world would come to admire? Scarlett Johansson was rejected by NYU. She lost roles time and again. Some even told her outright she had nothing special. Yet just a few years later, she became a global star. How did Scarlett push past the days when Hollywood turned its back? Scarlett started acting at 9 in North, 1994, but that tiny role went unnoticed. She tried again in Just Cause 1995, and If Lucy Fell, 1996, but remained a shadow. Every audition ended with the same line, "Thanks, but no." At 15, a director looked at her and said, "You don't have the look of a star." Scarlett went home, eyes red, but instead of quitting, she told herself, "I'll show them." Her break came with Manny and Lowe. 1996, her first lead role earned an Independent Spirit Award nomination, but being noticed didn't mean it was easy. Hollywood still doubted her. Scarlett pinned hopes on NYU, thinking it would hone her craft. The rejection letter crushed her. In her small room, staring at the old mirror where she'd practiced as a kid, she wondered, should I stop? But her grandmother's words echoed, "You have a fire inside, don't let it go out." Could Scarlett find the chance to prove herself, or would she remain a forgotten name? In 1998, everything shifted. Her role as a disabled girl in The Horse Whisperer turned heads. Critics praised her, and Scarlett started gaining recognition. By Ghost World, 2001. She proved she wasn't just a child actor. Then, in 2003, at 19, she shone in Lost in Translation. The film won her a BAFTA and put her name on the world's lips. But even at the peak of success, Scarlett worried. After the BAFTA ceremony, standing alone amid applause, she thought, was this just luck? Will they forget me after this role? Hollywood saw her, but fame's pressures were something she hadn't foreseen. They said she didn't have a star's look, but at the Endgame premiere, camera flashes never stopped, and every eye was on Scarlett. Scarlett Johansson cemented her A-list status in 2010 as Black Widow in Iron Man 2. From a supporting role, she became an icon. Over the next decade, she starred in global Marvel blockbusters The Avengers, Captain America, Infinity War, Endgame. The box office for her films soared past $15 billion, making her the highest-grossing actress of all time. Earning up to $20 million per film, plus major endorsement deals, her own brand, and business investments, Scarlett amassed an estimated net worth of $165 million. But her achievements go beyond money. In 2019, she made history with dual Oscar nominations, one for Best Actress in Marriage Story, another for Best Supporting Actress in Jojo Rabbit. Two roles, a heartbroken mother and a wartime mother, showed a depth few expected from a Marvel face. From a girl deemed not special enough, Scarlett redefined perseverance. Success wasn't luck, it was earned through silent years, through rejections no one heard. Yet the spotlight isn't the only place Scarlett shines. Off-screen, her life is as lavish and surprising as her roles. You can know someone through their roles, but you understand them better when you step into the homes they choose to live in. For a star worth over $160 million, you'd expect glittering Beverly Hills mansions or Manhattan penthouses. But Scarlett Johansson chose something else: homes with memories. In upstate New York, in the artist's haven of Sneden's Landing, once a retreat for Katharine Hepburn and Laurence Olivier, Scarlett owns Ivy House, a $4 million mansion nestled among ancient trees, far from glitz. Every brick, every stained glass window recalls a time when she shared a crowded apartment with 3 siblings. Maybe that's why this quiet space isn't just a home, it's a symbol of the peace she once dreamed of. The living room has rough brick walls, polished old wood floors, and shelves lined with old scripts. Children's books for her kids, and simple framed photos. In her bedroom, morning light filters through white curtains, falling on a wooden desk where Scarlett handwrites script notes, a habit from her days rehearsing in front of a mirror. She once said, "I don't want houses just to look at. I need places that make me want to live." Across the country in Los Angeles, Scarlett owns another home, a Spanish-style villa in Los Feliz, worth nearly $3,900,000. Unlike the serene Ivy House, this house is open, bright, and vibrant like Scarlett's other side, the powerful actress. Entrepreneur, public figure, high ceilings, ivory-arched doors, orange and lemon trees in the backyard where she hosts private gatherings or plays with her kids among lavender blooms. The basement holds a small screening room where she and her husband, Colin Jost, watch old black and white films. On the walls hang paintings by her daughter Rose, next to a Polaroid of Scarlett in the kitchen, stirring soup in golden sunlight. That's not a movie star, that's a mom. 2 homes, 2 lives, but both reflect the same truth: Scarlett doesn't buy houses to flaunt status. She chooses them like roles with depth, emotion, and a tie to who she is. If her homes are where Scarlett pauses, the cars she drives are how she moves forward. And as you'll see, each car reveals not just her taste, but something deeper about her true self. Scarlett Johansson has never been one to show off speed or collect cars like jewelry. Her garage, simple and private, says a lot about a woman who once lived quietly in Manhattan and now can drive anywhere. Literally. Her favorite for formal occasions is a Maserati Quattroporte, worth about $150,000, jet black, with tan leather interiors. Its powerful yet understated engine mirrors Scarlett on the red carpet, elegant, refined, commanding attention without saying much. She uses it for press events, award ceremonies, or charity functions where she's both a star and an advocate for social causes. When she's not Scarlett Johansson of Hollywood, she's a mom, and her BMW X3, worth around $50,000, is her go-to. This compact SUV fits her 2 kids, diapers, milk bags, and the ordinary life beyond the spotlight. She's been spotted driving it to Manhattan supermarkets in a hoodie and oversized sunglasses, looking like any American mom. Maybe in those moments, she enjoys feeling anonymous. But don't think Scarlett plays it safe. Her garage also holds a classic Porsche 911, not the flashy red Hollywood stereotype, but a dusty gray. Like it just rolled in from a desert road, she once said, "I don't need a fast car, I need one with soul." This Porsche isn't just for driving, it's for remembering the years she couldn't afford a cab, squeezing onto the subway with scripts in her backpack, dreaming of driving herself home without hitching a ride. If cars are how Scarlett navigates her roles and life's chapters, her daily habits, how she spends, raises her kids, cooks, and says no to Hollywood when needed, reveal the real woman behind the stage lights, despite being one of the world's biggest stars. Scarlett keeps her personal life as separate from the media as possible. She splits her time between New York and Los Angeles, but wherever she is, one thing stays constant: she keeps things small. Scarlett's mornings start with black coffee and the sound of kids running through the house. She makes breakfast for her children herself, no private chef, no takeout, she once shared. "People think it's special to cut fruit for my kids. For me, those are the truest moments of the day." She rarely attends big parties unless necessary. Instead, her weekends are spent at home in sweats, strolling the neighborhood, or taking her daughter to the local library. Each year, she carves out time to garden at her Sneden's Landing home, a hobby she says quiets my mind. Her spending reflects her restraint. She doesn't chase flashy designer labels. Instead, she invests in lasting things: clean skincare, The Outset, her own brand, independent film projects, or charities for kids. A big chunk of her wealth goes to education and protecting her privacy, something scarred by a 2011 photo hack scandal. Scarlett isn't afraid to say no to offers that disrupt her personal life. She once turned down a major studio project because it clashed with her daughter's birthday. In those quiet years, Scarlett built another image: no longer the girl overlooked, but a strong woman leaving a mark beyond film through motherhood, charity, and inspiring a generation. At 40, Scarlett Johansson isn't just a star with hundreds of millions, but a mother of two, Rose and Cosmo, and wife to comedian Colin Jost. Unlike stars who use their personal lives as branding, Scarlett shields her family from every lens possible. Her closest bond wasn't with directors or co-stars, but with her grandmother, Dorothy Sloan. Dorothy was the first to believe in Scarlett's artistic dreams, listening when her parents divorced, teaching her to read Shakespeare and believe beauty isn't in the spotlight, but in how you walk through the dark. Scarlett still keeps that quote in her personal journal. Later, as a star, Scarlett stayed tied to her mother's Jewish roots. She often speaks of an uncle killed in World War II, which deepened her commitment to veterans programs, especially through Operation Warrior Wellness, where she's both a donor and spokesperson. She quietly gave $500,000 to Hurricane Maria victims in Puerto Rico in 2017 and took no payment for anti-harassment campaigns in Hollywood. Instead, she co-founded the Time's Up Fund, serving as a coordinator, not just a figurehead. These things aren't on her resume. They don't make headlines. They're not etched on honorary checks, but they're in how Scarlett stays silent when others shout and acts when others only talk. But when you live so privately, so independently, sometimes the world misreads you. And there were times when everything Scarlett built nearly crumbled because of a leaked photo, a mistimed comment, or a choice that baffled amid division. She's a powerful star, a symbol of confidence and allure, but once, a single click was enough to expose Scarlett Johansson's most vulnerable side. In 2011, at the height of her Hollywood rise, Scarlett was hit by a shocking phone hack. Private photos meant only for her then-husband, Ryan Reynolds, spread across the internet. No words could shield the violation she felt. Scarlett wasn't just exposed to the public, she felt betrayed by the technology that connected her to fans. She didn't stay silent. Scarlett fought back, working with the FBI, advocating for artists' privacy, and speaking out about why women shouldn't be punished for private moments with loved ones. But inside, it was a deep blow. She later said, "I'm not afraid of being photographed. I'm afraid when people think they own my image." 3 years later, in 2014, she sparked controversy as the face of SodaStream, a company with a factory in Israel's disputed West Bank. The backlash was fierce. Oxfam, where she'd been a goodwill ambassador, pressured her to resign. Scarlett stood by her stance, but paid a price: criticism from activists and even former supporters. In 2018, things got messier. As Hollywood grappled with allegations against director Woody Allen, Scarlett, who'd starred in his films, publicly supported him. Yet she was also a leading voice in the Time's Up movement. The contradiction fueled outrage. Many asked, whose side is she on? Scarlett stayed silent. Some things she chose not to explain. Her personal life wasn't calmer. 2 divorces with Ryan Reynolds in 2011 and French journalist Romain Doriac in 2017, raising her daughter Rose alone amid grueling film schedules under constant scrutiny. Few know that while filming Marriage Story as a broken mother, she paused scenes to call home when Rose had a fever. Scarlett was always introspective, disliking noise, but fame gave her no choice. She lived under a magnifying glass. Every move, every word could backfire, and no matter how strong. There were moments she felt trapped in a glass cage, beautiful, but stifling. What sets Scarlett apart isn't that she never fell. It's how she rose after being misjudged, hurt, or thrust into controversy, because behind it all, she kept living, acting, and inspiring in her own way. You can be famous for a role, but you're remembered for how you live after the screen fades. Scarlett Johansson has had it all: fame, fortune, awards, admiration. But what makes her unique isn't the numbers, it's how she uses them to quietly fight for what she believes. She doesn't chase media races or keep her name in headlines. While many stars tie themselves to trendy causes, Scarlett quietly donates to groups supporting women, veterans, and underprivileged kids. $500,000 for Hurricane Maria victims. Long-term support for Operation Warrior Wellness, speaking out on privacy before social media exploded. No stage needed, she acts. From a girl in a 2-bedroom New York apartment to a global icon, Scarlett stays grounded. She never chased the perfect heroine image. She backed Woody Allen, knowing the backlash, and left major organizations when values didn't align. She's not afraid to change, but even less afraid to be herself. She's also one of the rare stars balancing blockbusters and personal art, from Avengers to Marriage Story, Black Widow to Jojo Rabbit. Scarlett never let Hollywood box her in, even settled with a family. She takes on challenging roles like in Asteroid City, 2023, proof she never stops pushing herself. When people think of Scarlett Johansson, they might picture Black Widow, but to those who know her, it's the image of a woman who was rejected, hurt, yet never stopped moving forward quietly, steadfastly, and deeply human. Scarlett once said, "Success isn't having everything, it's knowing you're doing what's right, even if no one claps." What about you? How have you picked yourself up after a big fall? Share your story in the comments below. Who knows? It might inspire someone who needs it.